Good evening. Welcome to the September 9th Commission on Disabilities meeting. If we could salute the flag, I have the trustee flag here. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Just one piece of housekeeping, if you could just make sure that your mics are muted unless you're going to speak. This way we won't have any feedback or any background noise. That would be much appreciated. If we could, Pauline, if you could do a roll call of the members, I'd greatly appreciate it.
Sure. So Ralph DeChico,
Present?
Pauline Perno is present. Jason Barone,
Present.
Mario Gramatis,
Present.
Ellie Vargas.
Present.
Okay, and Anne Marie Fiore we know is absent.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. And first item is we are going to do the item number one is the motion to approve the meeting minutes from August 12th, 2025. I sent the meeting minutes over to everyone last week so that you could all take a look at it. Hopefully everyone was able to take a look at it. If anyone seen any omissions or any changes that need to be made, please let me know. If not, if I could have a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
And I'll second that.
Okay. And second by Pauline. Okay. Next, item number two, as you can see, we have guest speakers here tonight. We have the co-founders from Winnebago, Lisa Tulipani and Maria Riley here are going to do a presentation for us. So first I wanted to welcome them to the Revere Commission on Disabilities and thank them for being here. And I'll let them each introduce themselves. You have the capabilities after the share screen, so I'll let you introduce yourself and talk a little bit about it before you do your presentation.
Thank you so much. Again, thank you so much for having us. My name's Lisa Tulipani. I am a lifelong Massachusetts resident, initially from Melrose. I've been in Lynn for the past 9 years, and then before that I did a little stint in Los Angeles, but the North Shore is my home. We're so excited to talk to you about the Winnebago. I have a background in oncology, nursing, palliative care, and legislative advocacy and FDA policy and all this stuff. But my experience combined with Maria, where we created something beautiful and innovative, and we can't wait to share it with you. And Maria, please introduce yourself.
Hey everyone, I'm Maria Riley, longtime Chelsea resident, now living in Lynn for the past 12 years. My background is 35 years of sales and retail. And like Lisa said, with our two minds together, we came up with a great a trailer that definitely is well needed in our community. I feel that with my background and Lisa's background, something like this is going to be amazing, and we can't wait to share it with everyone.
And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Please let me know if you can see things. It should be an image that says let's go. Do you see that?
Yep, all set.
Okay, all right. This is a slide deck. I want to let you know this is our presentation deck that eventually we will be sharing with investors in a few weeks. And if you don't know what we're here to talk about, you will find out very shortly. So we are so appreciative of being able to share what we have built so far with you, and we are so open to your feedback. So anything you'd like to share with us, we'll have questions at the end. And again, just thank you so much for your time. Maria and I are co-owners of something called the Winnebago, which is an accessible event trailer and community engagement hub. The Winnebago offers dignified toileting options, diverse communication aids, and private space for peace and calm. Basically, the Winnebago is a new type of mobile public amenity that allows access to community dignity and joy wherever it roams. It's an awesome concept. We designed it based on our life experience in Lynn. My son is 5. He has spastic quadriplegic cerebral palsy and requires a high level of care, including when out in the community, requires a changing table that accommodates humans bigger than 35 pounds, which is what the average changing station in a bathroom um, that's the weight limit. Anyway, so Maria's family, Maria's a caregiver to folks. She's a sandwich generation, so she has um, parents and in-laws who are elderly that she's caring for. And Maria also has three kids who are on the spectrum, as well as her husband. And there is a sensory aspect to the Winnebago too. So what is the problem? The problem that we came across with our families and trying to just access life is that the disability community is left out of living a connected life. This is because of structural barriers in outdoor spaces or systemic barriers to civic engagement. There's also very little data that exists around municipal inclusion of the disability space. The question that we came up with is, how do we change outdoor space for our families? And if we're going to change it, how are we going to measure the effects of it? So our research question for our revolutionary trailer is, how does enabling accessible community events, prioritizing dignity, joy, and impact public health and economic growth? So we have our trailer. The Winnebago, again, is this new mobile type of amenity, and it does two things. It provides a product, which is the trailer, to address physical need of a sensory room, communication aids, and a bathroom that goes beyond ADA accessibility, and also a program to provide education to the community when we are at an event. And also a research plan to study the impact and answer our research question. We initially got the funding in 2023. We entered our concept and idea into a disability innovation contest called the Arc Tank. We were seven of 150 international applicants that were mostly big tech companies, pharmaceutical companies that entered a concept that's supposed to be disruptive to the disability space. We had the only entry that wasn't an app, it was a physical product. And I have to say we are quite proud. I think it was December 5th, 23, we presented a live pitch in front of a room full of investors and advocates at the JFK Library, and we were one of 3 groups to walk away with funding. We won a grant of $75,000, which took our plan from concept and drawing to actually existing. This is the Winnebago. Right now it resides in Salem, which is super cool. This is the sensory space. There's me, there's Maria. That's, I think we were at the Kennedy Library for a different event almost a year later in this photo. And this is the bathroom. We were so excited about the bathroom. And in fact, we have a closer up picture of the bathroom. Our universal restroom, you can see just looking at this, how this changes who is able to show up at outdoor events. Our restroom is wheelchair accessible. There is ample space for companions or people that use mobility aids. You can easily get in and do a 360 in a wheelchair in there. The changing table is powered. It is height adjustable, and it accommodates humans up to 330 pounds. The entire trailer, it's 2 rooms. Both rooms are temperature controlled, offering heat and AC. And it's a clean, sleek, homey design. There are restroom trailers that do have changing tables that have a very clinical feel to it. We wanted this to feel like home when you're out in the community. So that informed our design as well. And speaking of our design, we are on LinkedIn, so you can come and find us. But we actually were recognized. We celebrate every success. We were recognized by a website called the Toilet Guru for being an innovative type of toilet. So that's exciting. We are actually this month, with the help of Boston's Institute for Human-Centered Design, on their recommendation, we're applying for an international toilet award from the Japanese Toilet Association for our work in using bathroom design as a way to improve public health. We also have, the second room is a sensory room. If you're not familiar with sensory care often is associated with, kids and families where there are intellectual or developmental disabilities such as autism. Sometimes at an event, you just need to have a moment of respite and calm. And this is invaluable for all humans, whether you are an adult with PTSD, someone elderly with dementia, a mom who's getting overwhelmed in public, private space is so needed. And a lot of times having this available will allow a whole different segment of the population to show up and interact. Here's another photo. These are the products that we've picked out. We can talk about them later, but everything that's going in the Winnebago and in the sensory room is top of the line hospital grade, so it can be easily sanitized. And again, this is a prototype, so we're building everything professionally so it can be easily replicated. The third piece, so we have the bathroom, we have a sensory room. The third thing that we're very excited about is the communication aids that we're having throughout the vehicle. These will be multilingual, augmentative and alternative communication, braille and sign language panels. And basically, you know, we live in Lynn. There are so many languages spoken here. We want to make sure that if you show up to an event, not only do you not have to worry about bodily functions or find and calm space, you can also communicate in the way that you exist in the world. So again, we're just trying to think of what type of new amenity would make outdoor connection possible. One thing that we're very excited about is we've been getting new networking opportunities. Maria and I just went to a disability innovation night at the Museum of Science. It was a networking event, and guess what? The networking event worked because now we are going to be working alongside Perkins School of the Blind to make sure that our communication aids not only are you know, not only are accurate, but also visually inclusive to those with visual impairment. So like we're so excited about that new potential partnership that we're still working out details, but we're so excited about that. The other thing that we're doing is every time the Winnebago is out in the community, we will be engaging with community members and through surveys and direct interaction and collection of stories, we'll be measuring the impact of what this new type of access brings, both in terms of public health and local economic growth. I do need a slide on there about economic growth, so please, your feedback is welcome. But basically, for every dollar that a municipality or business entity invests in accessibility, eventually over the course of a few years, you will see that come back into your local economy. I think the latest figure was like 9 times over. So if you think about a whole new segment of people going out into the town of Revere, they're going to stop for a cup of coffee. Maybe they'll take public transportation where they hadn't before. Maybe they'll go to Kelly's and get a lobster roll. You know, we have all the ability for people to leave the home and engage in community also assists the local economy. In terms of our research partners, we have been getting support and ideas from the adaptive sports team at Spalding, their Salem location, which is part of the Mass General family. We're still working out a research partnership, but Dr. Wishart, who is in the middle there, and this is some of his PT and OT staff, they're going to be helping us design some of the research elements related to public health and measuring joy and things like that. And also, how awesome is the bathroom? I think that's 7 people plus me taking the photo. I invite, you know, Marie and I have a very tight schedule, but if there is a time where we can get folks from local disability commissions together and we can give you a little tour, it is so impactful when you see it. Later this month, we're doing an interview documentary with this gentleman up in the right who actually lives in Newton. He has a television show through Newton Community Television called the Innovations Showcase. And he's a retired science teacher and he loves science and museums and innovations. And we're doing like a 3-part series sharing our like schematic drawings and getting really nerdy about it. So we're so excited for that. We've also been getting press lately, which is awesome. You may have read some. And then earlier today, because of the unique approach and because of the market research and, you know, deep dive that we did into the local disability, not only population statistics, but market analysis and what are the state of portable bathrooms in Massachusetts and what are the rates over the course of the country. We were called upon today to testify at the State House in support of a House Bill 256 and Senate Bill 102, which is you can read this later, but basically in 2027 they are trying to pass legislation that for any municipal or public building that is being newly constructed or renovated, that having a powered height adjustable changing table, whether it is wall mounted like in the Winnebago or it could be a freestanding one on wheels, that will be required in every public building. I just want to point out the cost effective solution piece down here. Having changing tables in the community, regardless if the Winnebago exists or not, is such a cost effective way to build inclusive communities. If you just get a portable table, that costs like a middle of the road one is around $4,000, and that's a good alternative to places in Massachusetts that have an older infrastructure, because sometimes it's hard to renovate a bathroom with that extra space. I want to point out that the State House itself has a yearly accessibility budget. I think for fiscal year 26, it's $161,000. If they were to do the one-time cost of having one of like the middle grade, not super high quality changing table, that's about 0.02% of their yearly accessibility budget. And actually, like, I love using Lynn as an example because Lynn does struggle financially, and Lynn does have huge challenges with infrastructure and doesn't always get ADA stuff right. We are all working, but they've heard our work, and Lynn City Hall actually has a changing table right now. So, that kind of proves the feasibility of this initiative. It's a small investment for a significant return on equity and inclusion. I have and then the last one, the big piece, the big deal about the Winnebago is that it is thinking about outdoor space in terms of human-centric design. So what can we do to get a full community out and really participate in life? It was important for us to have human-centric design, meaning like any human can use the Winnebago, but it was also important to have a quality product so that not if, but when this becomes a regular part of culture here, having this type of mobile public access. Each Winnebago does come with a 20-year manufacturer's guarantee. The trailers are FEMA grade. In this time of chaos, Maria and I like to joke, but also say kind of seriously, because there is a potential use for mutual aid for the Winnebago that, like, pardon my French, if everything goes to shit and it all burns down, the Winnebago will still be standing, because that is the commitment to quality in the product that we have. And that brings us to, the manufacturer that built the Winnebago just is partnered now with the only continental railroad that connects Canada, the US, and Mexico. So they're going to be providing not Winnebagos, but restroom trailers. So we're so excited to be part of
Company.
like our network's just growing, and it's really cool. So a couple big questions. And I probably think I'm over time, so I'm gonna be really quick. Ralph, please cut me off if I'm going too long. We are not a nonprofit. We are what is called a social enterprise, which is a type of LLC, a limited liability company, which just means that any profits we have get invested back into the research, invested back into our work. We are not a nonprofit because we firmly believe that advancements in accessibility should be part of the local economic fabric. This is skilled labor, and we are actively filling gaps with our own business plan. And also, if we are trying to prove that disability inclusion through architecture and making sure public space is human-centrically designed, if we are trying to prove the value of that, we're literally going to stand on our business and do that as a business. And then I talk a lot. I'm going to hand it over to Maria.
How you doing, everyone? So this next slide is how you envision the Winnebago and Revere. So my question is, this is your community, so please, you tell us how you would use the Winnebago in your community and how you think this would help your residents. Uh, I, I'm sorry, the numbers here, Lisa, you have these numbers here. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
sure. Yeah, yeah. No, this is just to show you where Revere kind of falls within the
Oh,
United
yes, I
States in terms
apologize.
of the rate of disability. So the overall rate of disability in the United States, and this would be percentage of population, is about 13.5%. In Massachusetts, overall, we have accessible healthcare. We have services. If you are part of the disability community, a lot of times it does not feel like that. But there is more support in Massachusetts than other places. Ironically, Massachusetts, I think, is like the 70th city in the United States, and or Boston is like the 70th in the most accessible. So access to healthcare and overall community accessibility doesn't necessarily correlate, but we're looking to change that. Lynn actually has one of the highest rates of disability
Yeah.
in Massachusetts. The only other one would be Springfield at 16%.
Lisa,
But Revere, you fall in line with the average United States, about 13.5%. And those were the most recent
yeah, what year,
statistics I could
what,
find online.
what year is this data from? This isn't from the
This
2020 census.
this was pulled from disabilitystatistics.org today. I don't
Okay.
have it in front of me, but I will amend that and make sure that there is a date there too.
Okay.
Let me make note of that. Yeah, so we threw a lot of information at you really fast. The rest of these slides, which I have sent to Ralph, do contain a bunch of resources. One of which I just want to point out is an app called Roll Mobility. We're still working out our partnership. This is one cute little thing we came up with. But Roll Mobility is an app on the phone where I, as a community member or consumer, can go into a public building or a business, and then I can rate on my phone how accessible is it? How accessible is it in terms of mobility? How accessible is it in terms of bathroom access? And we are going to be partnering officially with Roll Mobility to encourage users in the North Shore area to kind of, rate the accessibility of businesses. Because if the Winnebago is now going to be out in the community, we want people to know, where can you go while you are out at this community event? How can you capitalize on this accessible time? And again, there's all sorts of resources we can answer questions for that. But I
And
will
can I
stop.
just add one thing? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I
sure,
just
go
want
ahead.
to add one thing. So I was at the Sandcastle event, and I think amazingly that our Winnebago would make a great contribution to next year's Sandcastle event, where we add the sensory, where we have the accessibility bathroom for everyone in the community, and also it would help, like whether it's movie night or Sandcastles, it would help a large amount of our community members to come out and be able to enjoy a community event without having to worry about bathroom accessibility for those who need more than just uh, a, a handicap bathroom. They need more like the changing table and space.
We're open to feedback. We know that
Yes.
you probably have a lot of questions, but we're so excited to share this with you and hear your thoughts.
So I did start saying, like, this is your community. How would you feel that the Winnebago would benefit, like, help out your community and benefit your residents? If you have anything you like to share, please let me know.
Before I get into that, I just have one question on specs.
Mhm.
I see the bathroom is large. Where did you base your specs on? Did you follow any guides or any access codes or for the dimensions or anything like that?
Yes, so there is the US building code, and there are ADA accessibility guidelines for restrooms. The
So did you go by
legislation,
the Architectural Access Board, the 521 CMR codes?
I'm not sure if that was exactly, but we went off the same specifications that were used for the bill that we testified for today.
Okay.
which is specific to having changing tables. I will point out because of funding design and just the schematics of the trailer, our particular changing table accommodates up to 330 pounds. The legislation is for 350 pounds. But we have something that didn't exist before, and this is a prototype, and we already have notes on what the next iteration, what improvements will be there.
If any commission members want to speak, you can just unmute.
Ralph, I think the idea would be, and this is just my own thought, that it would be good to see something permanent like that down over near the beach, because when they shut the bathrooms down for folks near the beach, for somebody like myself, because when I go around, it's not as easy to get into a place with a chair. So I'm just thinking that this would be a nice touch long term to have. So
Yeah.
it'd be more places, because sometimes it's hard, and especially when they get crowded. As
Mhm.
you know, the bathhouses down there do get crowded,
And
and
that's
that makes
the
it.
thing. Well, the thing you got to remember too, Jason, for the beach is
Yeah,
not Revere.
yeah.
Beach
No, I know.
is
No, I know.
DVR.
But I'm
So
just
it's another
thinking.
hurdle that has to be
Yeah. No, I got that. I'm
crossed.
not. But I'm thinking that if Revere cares about it, I'm just thinking it's a start. It would be, and there may be other areas in Revere that this could be helpful as well, because it's hard. That's just one area I'm thinking of where people go, and there are restaurants that might not have accessible restrooms. So I'm
Well,
just
they have
thinking,
to by code. They have to.
yeah, well,
You'd be
as I told
surprised.
you,
They
yeah,
have
well,
to. If not,
I,
then you put a complaint in.
yeah, who do
Do
we
any
contact
work,
then?
they have to have. If they do, and I'll talk offline with you.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
they don't, then you put a complaint in to the
yeah,
Architectural Access Board that they
okay,
have to have accessible bathrooms.
okay, yeah. I mean, it's just you would think, and I'm just being honest. It's people find ways around everything, unfortunately, and it's unfortunate. But I'm just thinking longer term. It just would be helpful.
Yeah.
Um, and that's just one area. I'm saying there's probably other areas that I'm not thinking of at the second, but it would be helpful
There's a
sometimes.
lot of areas that besides Revere, like Revere,
Yeah,
when Revere is having events, when
yeah,
the Sandcastle is not a Revere event, so I'm thinking
yeah,
specific Revere events. I'm thinking when the Parks and Recreation Department has specific events for the city, the 4th of July events that they have at one of the schools, things like that. That's where this would come into effect. They
Or when
do
you're
the
having
fall
the
festival.
parade, or
Well,
when you're having a parade go through, yeah.
yeah, we haven't had that for years, so that's a touchy subject right now. Um,
well,
or when we have such other events, they have a fall festival, things of that nature.
Yeah.
well, I'm just thinking
There's,
of.
there's big needs for something like that. Um, my question is now, is this a community have to purchase one of these, or do you also rent these?
So
What's the model? Do you have two
So
models, or do
our
you have one model?
overall, so we're not in operation yet. We're hoping to get funding from investments and donors to be in operation by summer
Or
2026. So next
yeah.
summer, or spring, where we can only move as fast as the money
Yeah,
comes
we're
in, and
halfway
right
there,
now it's
not
a
fully
tough
there.
time. But it would be available for municipalities to rent. The cost, and again, we're thinking, bigger events. We've done full market analysis on the pricing of renting restroom trailers, plus the added value of a community engagement hub, resources, education, and the research element. We're still looking at numbers, but it would be between 3,500 and $4,000 to rent, which municipalities can also apply for Mass Cultural Council grants and
Right.
things of that to pay
How
for
long
it.
of a time period does that cover for?
That would be for probably like half a day, like 4 to 6 hours,
I
I
was just
think.
gonna
And
say
then
4 to 6 hours, yeah.
and then we could, if you wanted it to quote unquote live in residency somewhere for a couple days, that would be a different, like, we're still
Different, yeah.
figuring that out, but that's an option as
And
well. The big dream is that we will be able to within a year or two be able to scale, because we have a company that can scale our product to make it available for purchases to municipalities, but as a whole package that includes the education piece, includes the research piece. And I like to
Includes
think
the
really
sensors.
big. Our vision is that we would transform the city of Sin to the nation's cradle of inclusivity with this ripple effect of Linnebagos going out. We dream big because why not?
Well, if you're going to dream big, then you need to be looking at the Big E. That's another place
Absolutely.
where that could be used.
Yeah,
That is
no,
it.
absolutely.
That
Big
is
E,
it. Very
Topsfield
easy.
Fair, Hunting
Yep.
Happenings. Like
Yep.
there are so many, but also that like high school graduations.
Yep.
We've had the Red Sox. We haven't made an official appointment with them yet, but they have that new area down on Yawkey Way that's like an outdoor pavilion. Now the Red Sox actually do have a changing table.
They just added
They
one,
just
yeah.
installed it a few months ago, but that's way on the other side of the park. So by having the Winnebago station different areas, then the Red Sox can then, like, I was there a few weeks ago and it was spinal cord injury night. So, they had an influx of folks who were wheelchair users. Having more than one changing table helps. And I do want to point out too that I think there's like 8 changing tables that are documented as existing in Massachusetts. 5 of them are in what I call places of privilege, because you have to have privilege to get there. Fenway Park, the Museum of Science, I think Foxborough, and I think 1 or 2 of the children's hospital locations have one. But that's why it's so important to make it publicly available, because that's great that changing tables are popping up in businesses, but people should be able to exist in their communities in public and access amenities they need.
Linda, one more question about the Winnebago.
Sure.
What is needed for it to be on site at a location? Is it self-contained? Is it self-powered? Does it need power at a location? Does it need the amenities to hook up to anything for sewerage, or is it all self-contained?
Yep.
So there are, we either need to be within 50 feet of a plug-inable power source, or it runs on 1 to 2 generators, depending on what load are we using. Are we going to have the AC on? Are we going to have the heat running? Maria, do you want to talk about you love talking about the waste tank and the water tank?
Yeah, no worries. But I do want to say it is powered by 2 boat batteries and we have 4 of them that may, depending on what the services need for that day, we would probably use 2 or 4, but the generator would help out, and also having access to power would also help out too, just to make everything run smoothly. But also renting the Winnebago, you're not just renting the Winnebago. It comes with me and Lisa. It comes with a team of staff of volunteers that also make sure that every transition and every use goes smoothly. And of course, the sanitizing, the upkeeping. So the Winnebago also has a 225-gallon tank that holds clean water and a 250-gallon tank of wastewater. So once it reaches max, it would have to be changed out. So that is something that we also would be there on staff to make sure that we're monitoring that. We're monitoring every use and making sure it's clean for the next person to go in.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of aspects. It's not just, renting. It's about the research point. It's about asking, members, how did the Winnebago in your community today help you, and how did it help your family members, or what did you like about it? What did you not like about it? So a little bit of research also goes a long way, and having us there, having our, volunteers there to make sure that everybody using it, and it does get sanitized in between. We still like to have sanitation in there, so that all is included into this price. It's not just you're renting a Winnebago, you're renting a trailer, but you're renting the staff that comes with it too. You're renting all the resources, and everything comes in this package together.
And just to answer the schematics a little bit more in detail. So say the city of Revere rents the Winnebago next summer. Yes, it's going to happen. What we need is it will be delivered with a tow truck several
Yes.
hours before the event. If you rent, Maria and I will come out to the site, assess, we'll figure out like where's the best location, what kind of services do you have? Do you have any community resources you want in the community resource hub part of it? All that. In terms of the water, we and the waste, that will be managed through contracting with Throne Depot, Union Rentals, or another porta potty company. We are still again looking at different logistics options, but if the City of Revere Water Department wanted
DPW, yeah.
to give us a deal on filling up the water tank, we can do that. That might impact the rental price. Again, we're still figuring out how it works. So maybe that could be a thing that if a municipality rents it, we work out a separate contract for the water. But again, these are all things that we would have to figure out. And we're planning to do like soft launch small disability centric focus groups as soon as we get the funding, so we can figure out all those little operational logistics that look good on paper. But when you have a business and you go to do stuff, that's not always the plan doesn't always work. So we want to make sure that it's well tested operationally before we're in
Well,
circulation.
the last
And-
question that I
okay.
have for any other members is now, is this registered as a motor vehicle? Does it have plates on it if to be able to be parked on the street?
We do have it fully insured. We have 3 different types of insurance. There's plates on it, so it's ready to go. Whether we take it to a road show or have it at an event, it's fully insured, fully registered, and ready to go.
It's
Okay.
registered as a commercial trailer.
Yes,
Okay.
commercial trailer.
And actually for a while we had to get creative because there wasn't a vehicle like
I
it
was
that
just gonna
exists.
say-
So it was like an offshore boat for a while.
There is
Yeah.
not one exactly like it, so it took us a long time, almost 4 months, just trying to find insurance for it.
Okay. All right. Any other members? Pauline?
I just have a really cool thought. First of all, I think this is the most wonderful thing that's ever come down the pike. No pun intended. it- I'm so glad I've channeled my way into your life via
I have
Lauren.
goosebumps, Pauline. Thank you.
It's just amazing that just by talking to one person, how you can meet 2 and 3 and 4 other people who just have that wonderful vision to make life better. Let's just say that. But as you were talking, I had this wonderful thought and I was going to pose it as a question. Do you
Sure.
think as time goes on and of course your funding comes through, et cetera, um, some places that I was thinking is like the National Night Out that
Mhm.
all communities do. And, that would be a wonderful place to have that the Winnebago be available for families, just to, again, for the inclusion and for the fun and the joy of it. But do you think at some point there might be like, I don't want to say a smaller scale of a Winnebago, but maybe a personalized scale of a Winnebago, maybe for families who have more than one person who could benefit from that? So maybe, I don't know about cutting it in half, dividing it out and take out maybe the sensory portion if they don't need that, but designing like a mobile bathroom changing station for families. I know several families who have more than 1, 2, or even 3 children, or now teens and going into adulthood, that could benefit from that. And so make that something that, I'm just thinking down the road. I'm not thinking like,
Mhm.
yeah, but certainly that might be a thought at some point in time. And I'm certainly, as you're talking, I'm thinking of all these wonderful places that you can hit them up for dough. One
Thank you. Yes, send them our
name
way.
as
Funding is a challenge because we're not a nonprofit, but
right,
again, we firmly believe in the model that we've
right.
designed.
No, I'm just thinking like Hasbro, because they're now coming to Boston. They're leaving Rhode Island, and Hasbro
Yes.
Seaport, and there's nothing really in the Seaport area. They've got the Winter Wonderland that comes for 2 or 3 months at a time. That certainly families will take their kids there. Maybe as Hasbro decides to come north, and I know that they've made that decision, they already have their space and everything. And of course, they're going to keep their connection with Hasbro Children's Hospital. So
Mhm.
intertwining all of those things, I just was having like these brainstorms, and I just think it's a magnificent thing. And I don't see where, you were saying like the DCR, it's DCR's space, but DCR would really benefit from linking up with you folks.
And we're in touch. We're in touch with
Yeah,
DCR. We haven't had a formal meeting with them
yeah,
yet, but they're the founder director of their open access program, Tom
right.
McCarthy. We've
Yep.
connected with him. I think their community engagement. I might remembering her title wrong. Terry. She was at the beach.
Yes. Yeah.
For All Abilities
Yeah.
Day.
Yeah,
So
she's a
like
community
one of our
engagement.
dreams is actually a government contract.
Oh my gosh.
Because they should be at the state parks, right? They should be at the state beaches.
Absolutely.
Again, I just want to reiterate that the team is Maria and me. So we're hopeful for funding. That you can do the little QR code right there.
Yep.
We're learning how to be
love it.
businesswomen. I
Oh,
think we're doing a pretty
very
damn good job. But one of our dreams included in that 150 grand is hiring a grant writer. Because I mean we're full-time caregivers to people with disabilities too, and we're trying to figure out social media. God, I think we made 2
work, too.
reels and it took me like 5 hours. Like we need
Mhm.
someone's like teenage child to help us, like, but we're hopeful.
Yeah.
We made it this far in 2 years, which is unheard of.
It's
So
wonderful. I'm in awe of you two for the development of this and the vision, and it's coming to life, and it's going to benefit so many people,
Yeah.
and not just kids and not just
Mhm.
adults,
No.
families.
Families,
Doing
yeah.
it so that they're able to do events together, and
Yeah.
it's just going to solidify that whole model. So,
Yeah.
congratulations on all
Thank you.
both of
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other members have any questions? Go ahead,
I
Ellie.
just hope I see more Winnebagos in Massachusetts. That's all. Besides
We're
that
Yeah,
great
hoping.
we're
program.
right there with you.
We're hoping. Yeah, we're hoping. I mean, accessibility, when Ruff was saying that most places need to have an accessible facility like bathroom, they're accessible, but they're not accessible like the Winnebago where it requires a changing table, because not every location has a changing table and not every person is able to use a toilet. Some people really just need to be changed and experience, like what Lisa said, with our experience, going out into the community. I know what Lisa for the longest time was like, okay, I got to go home. I got to change PD. And we were like, you just go out here. Like, things like that, where people don't feel like they have to cut their stay short and they have to either choose, do I want to go out or do I want to go out and then have that inconvenience of coming home because of something like this, like either changing our child, or having a child that has a sensory overload and they can't contain themselves. They're having a physical meltdown. And the noise and all that, the Linobe makes it so much easier, because I know with my children, it just takes 5 to 10 minutes to help them
Yeah.
de-escalate, calm down. But if they're in an environment where they can't de-escalate, it goes on for hours, lots of hours. And then you start feeling like, oh my God, people are looking at me, people are judging me. Then you choose not to go out,
Yeah,
not
and
to participate.
I think an important piece, going back to Pauline, your point, we want to make sure that it's available for like big events to make it inclusive, but like we also see a use for it at smaller events, like the
Mhm.
Kaplan Hospice House in Danvers. They absolutely should have a movie night with a marshmallow roast in the parking lot for families. We can, if it, we're firm on the price point because we believe in paying equitably for labor and skilled work, and there's plenty of market justification to charge what we are charging. We're not trying to make money, we're trying to have a sustainable business that literally is giving back to the community
Right. Yeah.
through its existence. But like we see it as, like, my son goes to a medically complex school program where he has a one-to-one nurse and it accommodates kids 3 to 22. I never see those families. Like, I don't know who they are. I know who they are in school, but like, imagine the power of having like a couple, like
outing.
all of Essex County. I'm sorry, I don't know if Revere's Essex County or not, but like having like a group of schools from different towns get together and families
Yeah.
meet each other
Yeah.
and form connection.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen, and that's so important for whatever is coming down the pipeline federally in terms of funding for community support, for public health. Like, the Winnebago is actually a way for us to start thinking differently about how do we create mutual aid networks, not just in our cities, but in the greater, like Ellie said, like in all of Massachusetts. How can we create events that are inclusive, but then also have these opportunities for the disability population to actually meet and share resources, especially through an event that's joy focused. So many times when we get together, it, in terms of resources, it's people are struggling. That's why I love the All Abilities days, because I was meeting people and like my kid was laughing. Like, that was amazing.
He's so cute.
He's so cute.
He is. The other thing I think people have to be mindful of is that, and I was listening when you were talking, is that accessibility is not a one size fits all. So an an accessible bathroom for, say, someone, an adult in a wheelchair who's able to wheel themselves in, is going to look different than a child who needs to have, or a teenager or a young adult, or even an adult
Or
who needs
grandparent. Yeah.
a caregiver with them to provide that service. And
Mm-hmm.
so I think that, when we talk in those terms, I think, accessibility is not a one size fits all. Disability is not a one size fits all ability is not a one size fits all. There's so many variables that really need to be taken into account when you think about stuff like this. But, having an event where, and you were saying Essex County, we're Suffolk, and that's fine.
Sorry, thank you for letting
But
me know
that, no,
that.
that's okay. But even crossing those county lines,
Yeah.
there's no reason that it has to be just Revere or just Lynn or just Saugus or just, going
Yeah.
west of Boston, Malden, and then over to Medford and then out that way. There should be able to be that crossover with that portion of accessibility, the Winnebago, with the, not just the bathroom facility, but with the sensory.
And the
Mm-hmm.
language piece,
And
is
right,
so important too.
right,
The different
be
modalities and
there and
different
available.
languages.
No questions asked. It should just be there. And
Yes.
I think that, you know, the more I think about it, the more, I am in awe of this. And I think it's just absolutely wonderful. So I
Thank you.
congratulate both of you, and I support you 1,000%. And if I should hit the lottery anytime soon, you're first to know.
Colleen, you weren't
Well,
the
it
winner
is
in
free.
this.
It is free to follow us on social media
And
and
share our
spread the
page.
word.
Colleen,
Yeah.
you sure you weren't the winner of Market Basket last week for the $1
It
million
was
Powerball?
not high. It was not high. Amongst the
Um,
class.
as Pauline said, not one size fits all for all accessibility. And this is why I feel like our research aspect of the renting it out and doing the research part will help us out for the next Winnebago to come out. Because again, not disability is not one size fits all. And we need to make sure that we're covering all bases when we go to build our second one.
Yeah.
We already have a big change. We know what we want to change, but we want more information. The more feedback, the better. And as we go, it will get better and it will be accessible for everyone, for all needs, not just for a small amount,
I believe we went with access to community, dignity, and joy for our for like what we're trying to achieve. But for a while we were saying that Winnebago designed for the spectrum of humanity, which still works, but that kind of captures what we're trying to do.
Right.
And then yeah, sorry, we've talked for so long, and I'm sure you have other
On the
agenda
on the
items.
photo, is it wheelchair accessible? Does it go down to the ground, or does it have a
It
ramp?
does. Oh yeah. So it's on
Is that good?
hydraulics. So
That's
in
what
the
that's what I
photo, it's
thought.
in storage
Yeah.
mode. The
Yeah, that's what I
hydraulics
thought.
lower it all the
That's
way
why I
to the
wanted to make sure
ground,
you
and then
explained
each
that.
room has wheelchair access.
Yes.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that it had access to get to the ground level
Mhm.
for a wheelchair to get into it. I just wanted to
Yes.
make sure you pointed that out.
Yes.
When the daily item came down and did the article, it was still up, and we had to keep reminding them that this is on storage phase. So once it becomes event phase, that whole thing comes down to a point where it's just a small little lift, not too much. It's just all one even.
Yeah, the hydraulics affect the angle of the main entry ramp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there,
Oh.
we know all sorts of stuff about
Good.
pistons and hydraulics and
Yeah.
We know more
wrenches.
about toilets than we want to know.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you coming to the meeting, and any members, like I said, I do have the slides. She sent me all the information, so just reach out to me and I will be able to email it to you, so that you can take a look at it. But this,
I ask that you not share it
Nope.
widely because that's just a draft.
Right.
But we'll be having like a bigger like come meet the Winnebago.
Yeah.
We're not touch a truck. We like to say like looky loo at the Winnebago.
Yeah.
No pooping in it yet. But we might have like a big night where we do the more deeper market analysis because I think and like we're gonna add in the questions that you all asked to make sure because if you have those questions other people are so like again as much as you appreciate us being here like we're not I think we're doing pretty good as entrepreneurs but anytime we get to like honestly interact with people and get real human feedback is so valuable to us so thank you for helping us.
Thank you.
I just
Thank you.
quick question to end.
Mhm.
Have you been contacted by any of the local CPACs to do any kind of presentation to them as far as the schools, not to be in not to have the Winnebago in the school, but to
Mhm.
present to like the Revere CPAC? I was just thinking that,
Yeah.
you know, maybe that you guys doing the same thing that you just did for us, but onto the CPAC might be a really good way for them to have one of their meetings generate some thought process as well.
Yeah, we did do a presentation like a year and a half ago, right after we got the grant, or when we were going for the grant for a couple of like the Mass Department of like DDS and I think the local Lynn Parent Advisory Council for Special Ed. I yes to that. I think again, you all wanted to hear about it, so like you're seeing the version of our pitch deck before it's like shiny and new. So I think not that we didn't need to be polished up for Revere, but we before we go to places that we could potentially get contracts with we
Right.
want to make sure everything's tight especially when you're talking about school like
Right.
the way Maria and I have talked about like how cool would it be again with that mindset of like how can we do like multiple city events like what if it was to live at Stone Zoo for a week and schools could take field trips
When they're
Gosh,
doing their, yeah, exactly.
like there's
Yeah.
different ways like the more we talk about it and think
Bring
about
in
it
all the
so like we
communities
definitely
together.
want school input
Yeah.
but we can only go so fast as we have funding
Right.
so
Again,
And like CPAC, they could always reach out to us too.
yeah.
Since this was on Revere TV, and they could see this presentation too.
Awesome.
Excellent.
That's fine. And if anybody wants to see this presentation, or if you want to go back and look at this, Lisa, you can go to Revere TV's YouTube page so you
Oh,
can take a look how it came
Nice.
out.
thank you.
You guys can get your own feedback and see what you want to work with on it.
No, I appreciate it. I appreciate it so much. And as just as long as you know that like that's not the final version. We still have we're gonna pepper in lots more facts. We're also gonna cut things down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Less
too.
is more.
Less is
Right.
more.
Well, like
Excellent.
A
I
lot
said,
for two moms who talk a lot to grasp
well,
that
we
concept.
thank
but
you
we're
so
Very
much.
passionate.
We really appreciate it.
Thank
Okay.
We
you.
wish you the best of luck, and we will
Thank
be.
you so
I know
much.
Pauline will keep in touch.
I will.
Absolutely, yes. If
Yes,
anything new and exciting happens,
definitely.
we will reach out and let you know.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much for having us. Bye bye.
All right.
Thank
Have a
you.
great night.
Thank you,
Have a
everyone.
great
Have a
night.
great evening. Thank you.
Uh, I am going to move on to item number 3, and we're going to try, since the meeting is a little extended, go as fast as possible without going too fast. If everyone gets my drift.
Mhm.
So next is just any updates from Pauline, since Anne Marie's not here, of any calendar future monthly guest speakers. I want to let you know that by next month, I will definitely let you know about November. I believe that the city is closed on the second Tuesday. So most likely, I don't want to say 100%, but we probably will not be having our November meeting.
Okay.
But I will definitely. It escaped my mind to try and call. I keep trying to look on the calendar. Since I'm not at City Hall full time, I can't find the yearly calendar to see what dates were closed dates. But I will try and reach out and find that out before the October meeting. I'll let you know, and I'll let everybody know in an email about that. Next, Anne Marie was going to do an update regarding the music therapy program, Revere Parks and Recs. But since she's not here, there's been some email communications going on about it. We have the next scheduled dates for that music therapy program. I am going to pull it up, and I'm going to share my screen. Hopefully, let me see. Let me close this a little bit. And just let me know if you are able to see the info about the music therapy workshops.
Got it.
Okay, so this is the new flyer that's been put out for the music therapy workshops that we tried to do over the summer, but probably because of the timing, it didn't work well with people to do it. So it's open to all families with a child with disability. Are you looking for ways to bring in music to support your child's development? Do they love music? Come to our workshops, find community, and learn how to use music to address non-musical skills. These workshops will be led by board-certified music therapists from the Community Music Center of Boston. There's 3 specific dates that are scheduled right now. It's Tuesday, September 30th from 4 to 5:30, Tuesday, October 14th from 4 to 5:30, and Tuesday, October 28th from 4 to 5:30. In order to find out to register for it or to find out any more information, you're going to want to contact Jen Duggan at the Revere Rec Center, and her email is right on here. It's jduggan@revere.org, and you'll find out more information for it. I just wanted to let everybody know, unless Pauline, were you involved in this at all too at the beginning?
No.
Basically, what this is, it's not music classes. This is it's music therapy for children. So for more information, please contact and reach out to Jennifer Duggan at the Revere Rec Center, and she'll be able to give you more information on it. We're doing it in collaboration with the Revere Rec Center because they have more of a bandwidth for us, but it's being run um, by us through the Revere Recreation Center. They're graciously helping us with all the logistics and all the legwork. And we are trying to see if we have, it's the Community Music Center of Boston that's doing this. It's a workshop to let people know about this. And then the next step after that would be some classes. But this is where you'd be able to find out any of this information. I apologize for not being able to give you a little bit more information on that. I had passed this on to Anne Marie to help organize this with Jen from the Revere Rec Center. But I think it would be very beneficial. But please reach out for more information to Jen.
Great.
The next thing was on the update is let me stop sharing my screen so I can get that off. Is just Elliot to see if you were able to ever find out anything from Representative Turco's office about the Revere Beach crossing with that letter.
No, I went to the office. It's normally empty. I'm gonna do it again this week, tomorrow,
Okay.
after my doctor's appointment. I will try again.
Okay.
But nothing so far.
Okay.
So update you. Excuse me. I just wanted to let this go. October, we do have a guest speaker. Lauren
Okay.
will be joining us to update us all on flu and everything public health and vaccines and availability and thoughts and presentations. So Lauren will be.
Lauren, okay. Perfect. Thank you.
Just didn't want that to go past.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
Okay. Item number 4 is the Coda Commission on Disabilities Alliance meeting that was scheduled for September 3rd last week. DPC, which is the Disability Policy Consortium, who hosts the meeting, mentioned that there'll be an upcoming hearing this month at the State House regarding a bill that will make the cost of hearing aids covered under the insurance companies. I believe DPC had put that information out today in a letter for when that specific hearing date is. The hearing date was just announced, and I'm looking at my email right now to see when that date was. Of course, my computer is freezing at the present time. Okay, and it is going to be, let's see if I can get it open all the way. It is going to be, the hearing date is going to be Wednesday, September 17th at the Mass State House from 12:30 to 4:30 p.m. They haven't announced the exact room number to be announced. The DPC's Deaf and Hard of Hearing community organizer is Nina Silva, to be available to help a preparatory and to schedule. Let's see what it says. You can email her or she can be contacted at 857-598-2450. So I just wanted to let everyone know about that. So that email just came in right before our meeting when the date was set because we talked about it last week. Also, the Arlington COD discussed the progress of their adaptive bike program. They currently have 2 adaptive bikes and recently opened their storage shed for them. However, they are still waiting for their Parks and Recs departments to acquire the necessary pedals for their bikes. So that's what I have from the CODA meeting. I'm going to move on to item number 5. Any items, if any items that came in from the Massachusetts Architectural Access Board, was the MAAB for variances. There haven't been any that have been sent to the city for any upcoming variances from the MAAB. So item number 5, there was none. And item number 6, if there's any commission members late informational items, speak now or forever hold your peace. I didn't get anything, so if anybody had any informational items, not anything that we can really speak on, because we need to stay into the proper rules and regulations of the open meeting laws. But if anybody has any informational items that they wanted to speak on, they can. Going once, going twice. Okay, so we're going to move on to item number 7. Item number 7 was residents' concerns and issues. The only thing that I've been getting for some residents is I still have been getting some calls regarding people requesting to apply through the Revere Commission on Disabilities for handicap placard. I don't mind letting people know and giving them the link to the RMV, but handicap placards are only done to the Registry of Motor Vehicles, where you go right onto their website and download their application. One thing that I always make sure that they know is there is an address, post office box on the top of that application where it has to be mailed to. It does not go back to an RMV. It goes to that specific address once it's completed. But also what I always tell people to do is make a copy of that application for yourself to have, especially that you're getting it filled out by a doctor in case it gets lost, so you have another copy. And it usually takes about 6 weeks before you get it. But if you have questions that you haven't received it, there's also a phone number on that application that you can call and they will let you know where it is in the process. I've had a few people do that and they contacted me back to thank me that they were able to find out that their handicap placard application has been processed and their placard was in the mail and they should be receiving it within the next few days. So I just wanted to point that out and just to let people know that again, as just as a point of information of calls that we've been receiving from residents and handicap signs.
Ralph.
One second. We only facilitate the applications in the traffic commission. The traffic commission alone are the ones that approve or deny handicap applications.
Yep. So the one caveat I'd add to that, since it is going to an address, I'd recommend that people put certified or some sort of tracking. It's not that expensive to be sure that you get it, unless they get approved to have it faxed from the doctor. Generally, they don't take it faxed in anymore. But
Yeah, it goes to a post office box.
yeah, exactly. Which is why I was saying to do tracking, because things are getting lost. It happens
Right.
more
That's
than
why
you
I
would.
always tell them too to make a copy of it.
But even if you make a copy, if
Yeah,
they don't
so
get
you
it,
don't have to go through. So if it gets lost, you don't have to go crazy and getting the doctor to fill it out.
oh, that part, yeah, no, I agree. But I'm just saying in general, it
Yeah.
can go missing. I'm just recommending that they would
Yep.
add tracking to that, or get it if there's a problem. Contact the team. The team can maybe get it approved, and then someone can fax it in.
Yep.
And once they get it, then they can process it.
Right.
So, yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Item number 8 is next steps. Pauline, I am just going to, unless there's anything different, we're just going to carry over item number 3 as next steps for next month's meeting, as we always have. Item number 9 is our reminder, if you wouldn't mind reading that as always, because you do such a great job.
Oh, thank you. The Commission on Disabilities office number is 781-286-8267. Residents can also call Revere 311 directly and speak to their staff Monday through Friday. They will answer most questions, but if they are unable to assist you, or if you prefer to talk with the Commission directly, please ask to be transferred to the Commission on Disability direct number. Please leave a detailed message and we will respond to you shortly. As always, please don't hesitate to contact us if you would like something discussed or added to our monthly meeting agenda. You can also let us know if you want to discuss any concerns. The Commission is here to help and assist all disabled residents and their families in Revere.
Okay, so thank you. Item number 10 is a meeting to adjourn. If I could have a motion made by someone to.
Motion to adjourn.
Jason's right on it all the time.
Seconded.
Mario jumped in there for a second.
Hey.
So Jason, and approved by Mario. Made by Jason, approved by Mario. Okay, I'm just writing down these notes. Our next meeting via Zoom is going to be on Tuesday, October 14th at 6 p.m. I just wanted to wish a happy holiday, happy New Year to our Jewish residents of the community. It's now that time of the year for them. Wish them the best. The upcoming holiday season. We will be meeting. Also, we will be meeting after. I believe, if I'm please correct me if I'm wrong. After Columbus Day
Correct.
and Indigenous Day, if I'm correct. Please.
Yep, that is correct. That is correct.
On October 12th. So wish everyone the best for that.
It's the 13th. Yep, it is on the 13th officially.
Yes,
Our
thank
meeting
you.
is on. Yep.
Thank you. And hopefully I didn't go too fast, but okay for the rest of the meetings tonight. It was a great meeting. And as always, I appreciate all you fellow members, commission members, for your participation and help. And I wish you the summer is over, but let's hope the weather still stays okay for a while longer. And please wish everyone good health, and any questions, please feel free to reach out to us.
Got it.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Bye,
And have a good night.
everybody.
Have a
Good
good
night.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye-bye.